Morning, welcome to Tropical Garden UK. It's almost 5 o'clock in the morning and the plan for the day is to head down to Cornwall to the Rare Plant Fair. So join me on this one, let's go have a look. Okay, a bit of an update on some of the pickups from the Rare Plant Fair down in Cornwall earlier today. Bit of a trek there and back, and it was absolutely chocker as well. I think I got there at 9:20, and there was already 30 people ahead, and there must have been 100 before the fair actually opened. So yeah, people were running around trying to snatch things up and get some bargains, but this is what I ended up picking up today. So firstly, it was Brassopsis fatioides, so really nice leaf texture. This one, very similar kind of structure to the Mitis that I've got as well, which is currently being attacked by aphids, but I believe it does get a little bit larger in the leaf form. Another Brassopsis down here, Brassopsis dimicola. These are from Krug Farm. Quite a cool kind of palmate leaf type structure to this one as well. Another spiny stem, pretty similar to all the other Brassopsis that you can kind of get. I think this one, from looking at Krug, has been hardy down to -15, so I'm not sure if I'll risk that as of yet. Keeping the pot, I'll put it somewhere protected over winter. That's a couple of cool additions of Brassopsis to go with some of the others over here, which is the Mitis, which is currently being attacked by aphids, and I believe this one is Begonia. A couple of these do like full shade, as you can see here on the left side of the leaf. That was out in sun for a pretty short period of time, and it has crisped up pretty heavily, whereas when it's been put in shade, it's put out this new leaf, which looks a lot greener and a lot fresher. Sticking with that spiky stem look, we have Calipanax septembulosus. Quite a nice, interesting variety. Really sharp stem on it. Again, that's going to be pot grown. This is a nice ornamental deciduous tree, so it will end up losing its leaves. It does flower with small white flowers on there, but obviously I haven't seen that yet. This is the first one that I've picked up, but that should be a nice addition to the garden. A couple of other additions, so you can see just sitting below that is Colocasia. So I've had a bit of a thing for Colocasia over the last period of time, trying to pick out some interesting varieties for the garden to go on in pots or containers and try to overwinter them, because yeah, these aren't particularly hardy in the UK. This one is Diamond Head, so nice, really nice matte, dark kind of black purple leaf structure to it. But you can see why it's called Diamond Head by the shape of that leaf. So that's a cool little pickup to go with some of the rest. This is quite an interesting one. So I've got a couple of reportedly hardy Begonias, which should kind of fill out some of those slightly more shady space in the garden. So this is Begonia Garden Angel. Really interesting leaf to this one. It's almost like a silvery purple burgundy colour, really deep red burgundy kind of back to the leaves, so that'll be a nice little addition to the garden. And then a one that's looking a little bit more sorry for itself at the minute. Palmata Selection DJHM, so collected by Dan Hinckley. Supposedly a hardy begonia with palmate leaves, and it's kind of a purple, green and cream colour to them. And supposedly it's pretty hardy, so let me show you the leaf. don't know if that's wilted a little bit from it being in the car with the travel or whatnot, I'm not too sure, but I'm sure that it will survive if it is hardy. Okay, and another few pickups that I've been interested in is some of the Schefflera varieties. So got a few in the garden already, but starting over here on the right hand side is Schefflera alpina. So this will kind of grow up into, a lot of these will grow into small trees or shrubs. They are evergreen, and there's a bit of a mix in terms of hardiness. So this alpina is reportedly from Krug being down to -15. Really nice kind of dark evergreen foliage on it, with 5 leaves held out almost like a hand. So that's a pretty cool variety to add in, which should be pretty hardy, so I've got a bit of a spot for that one. Over here is Schefflera microphylla. So this one over here is macrophylla. However, this one, pretty similar to macrophylla from what I've read so far. Very mixed reports in its hardiness, so I think I've seen some of them die down at -4, so this is going to have to be covered up. When it does get a little bit bigger, it sends out these kind of purple petioles with some of these really thin pendant-like leaves on there, which is going to be interesting. You can see there's a little bit of potential damage. I don't know whether this is the way the new leaves come out, but we'll see. We'll see how this one goes. And then the next two is Schefflera passiflora, and really nice little small tree, this one currently. I think this one does get into an actual tree and can grow up to 7 meters tall. You can see already the petioles, that kind of pinky purple type color, produces kind of between 3 and 5 leaflets. Hardness reported from what I've read so far, obviously with no experience with these, down at potentially -10, so and hopefully should survive in this garden. And then we have Schefflera delavi, I think that's how it's pronounced. I do have a slightly large one in this currently in the garden, so really nice tree. A lot of variation I've seen in terms of what the leaves actually look like. Some are quite kind of oblong, straight, spherical, however you want to call it, and then some that are kind of a bit more cut and have a little bit more variation in them. I think that might be in relation to the seed that's gathered from the parent plant itself. So I'm just going to see what I'm going to do with this one, whether I'm going to just keep it in a pot and just grow it on for a little while and see what happens, and then just go from there. And then the final one that we've got is Impatiens, I think it's Balanacea. So it should be pretty hardy. And the reason why I was interested in this is because if you look at the underside of that leaf, that kind of really dark red purple underside, which is really interesting. That, along with the begonias, should give some nice interest to some more of the shady parts of the garden, along with some of the kind of more architectural plants that are going to remain in pots dotted around on the patio, and then some of the Scheffleras again that are going to be planted out and kind of in the future hopefully grow a little bit taller and give a little bit more structure to the garden and some evergreen interest. So yeah, that's a bit of an update on what you end up collecting from the Rare Plant Fair down in Cornwall today. So thanks for watching Tropical Garden UK. I'll catch you on the next one.